Hey guys, Tommy21 here, and as you guys know, well, 2020 is almost over, so obviously, I gotta make some remodels to the studio, okay? So let me know exactly what you guys think. Do you like the new look? Do you not like it? Comment down below, let me know. And as you guys know, okay, every single year, my job is to grab an idea that I really like and hold very fondly, but then I destroy it, right? Because some ideas are no longer good, and that idea today is basically credit cards. I no longer use credit cards, so thus I have to make a video explaining exactly why I don't use them. And by the way, I have 5 credit cards, a $33,000 credit line, on top of that, a 781 credit score, and I haven't used credit cards the way people use them in over like a year and a half now. So that's why I have to make this video breaking it down and tell you exactly why I no longer use them like I used to. Like, hey, let me get these bonus points. Let me get this sign up bonus. Let me get this here and this here, because in reality, it just doesn't make any sense anymore. And if you guys are new here, I post videos every single day, so you should also subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified. On top of that, also destroying the like button. Now, the first thing is this, guys. Whenever I'm trying to convince someone, I never use my personal opinion, because basically that's not how you have a debate or an argument. You have to provide proof, evidence, and on top of that, the why you've been talking about what you're actually talking about. So in this case, okay, the big idea to the why is basically whenever you use a credit card, you are overspending money. You do get points here and there and also sign-up bonuses, but in reality, they all basically get neglected by the amount of money you're actually overspending, and also the potential of going into massive debt potentially if you, for example, lose your job or something happens and you can no longer go ahead and pay that balance off in full every single month. Tommy, that's not true, because I don't overspend money. I'm not doing any of that stuff. So in reality, I'm good. I'll use my credit card, get my points, and potentially get a discount when I'm going on vacation. All pros here. And by the way, I used to think the same way, where basically whenever I had an idea I liked, I always found supportive ideas also to support exactly what I'm talking about. But in this case, here are all the negatives, okay? Because basically, let's go ahead and share with you guys the facts and details and studies done by scientists to come to this conclusion right here. And the first study was done by a company that basically provides data and analytics for businesses to go ahead and make more money. And this company makes around $1.7 billion every single year. And they're called Dun and Bradsheet, okay? And the idea is that they declared that basically, whenever somebody uses plastic, for example, a credit card, they're more likely to spend between 12 to 18% more money every time they go to your store. Now, on top of that, another study was actually done by the Federal Reserve Bank at Boston, where they said, hey, the average cash transaction is $22, and the average non-cash transaction is around $112, which basically means you might be overspending over 409%. Also, Psychology Today basically said, hey, the reason people overspend with credit cards is because basically they don't have the same pain reaction to whenever they grab physical cash with value and spend that money and come back and they don't have the same amount of money anymore. That idea right there, transaction, is painful. But also, lastly, guys, here, my favorite store before I cared about my health was basically McDonald's. By the way, I love nuggets, bro. Like, that's my thing right there. But the answer is that McDonald's said, hey, the average ticket we actually get every time somebody comes in with cash is around $4.50. But the average ticket with credit is around $7. So basically, all the facts point to, hey, you are most likely overspending money when you're using credit. Tommy, that's not true. It couldn't be. It's not possible. When was the last time, be honest here, you went on your credit card app, check the statements, and see exactly where you spent money, see exactly if you actually overspent money? Comment down below and be honest, okay? Because basically, most people don't do this. So all the facts, okay, no matter how you think about it, point to, hey, psychologically, you're more likely to spend more money when you're actually using credits instead of actually going ahead and using. And by the way, guys, my favorite quote by Michelle Kagan, a CPA, is basically, hey, whenever you use your credit card, you're not spending money. That's why you don't feel pain. You're actually borrowing money. And psychologically, that is a different transaction and also a different type of pain that actually comes to you, because basically you don't have to deal with it until the end of the month comes, and then you go ahead and pay off that balance either in full or just pay just small minimum payments. And that's why a lot of people go into massive debts without ever realizing it. So the big con is that basically you are most likely overspending money when it comes to using a credit card. And by the way, there's articles on NerdWallet, on Forbes, Psychology Today. So the information is always been out there, but I've always ignored it until this very point. And that's why I no longer use credit cards the way I used to use them. Now, guys, what exactly does this mean and how does it affect you, okay? Well, the only thing I can tell you guys is basically things from my personal experience, okay? We have the facts and the data and the analytics. And by the way, guys, okay, businesses love when you go ahead and use credit. Why? Because basically that means they make a lot more money. That's why you hear all about the, hey, I'm gonna give you 5% cash back if you shop here or 3% cash back if you shop here, because basically they know for a fact, hey, scientifically proven, we are going to get more money either way when you come in and you basically use your credit card, okay? Or our credit card or our rewards cards, right? Because basically it's all plastic and the pain receptors are not activated when you're not using cash, okay? That is the main idea here. But what do you do about it, okay? Well, in reality, guys, okay, I noticed with me personally, I thought that, hey, Tommy, that's not you. You're not the average person. You know exactly what you're doing. But in reality, I noticed that, hey, back in 2018, I was using leverage very highly with credit cards, meaning I was taking all the bonus points. I was basically signing up for a lot of credit cards. And on top of that, I was using cash advances to grab that money in cash from the credit line and use it to invest and then hopefully pay it off before they charge me interest in around 18 months. But around 12 months later, when I only had around 6 months left on those promotions, guess what? I found myself with $13,000 in credit card debt. Now, thankfully, I paid it off because basically I paid it off, right? But guess what? That's not something I ever want to do again. And also, my friend told me, Tommy, that's not true, okay? I spend money, but I also get to travel for free once a year. And I said, hey, if you gave me $1 and I gave you 3 cents or 5 cents every time you give me $1, would you give me $1? The answer was no, obviously. Well, why would you spend $1 to get back 3 cents? And the answer is basically, well, Tommy, that's not realistic because basically I was gonna spend $1 either way with the credit card, so why not spend it and get back some points? The answer is, well, again, research shows you are overspending money. So here is the math also to that argument. Let's say, for example, you spend $10,000 on a credit card every single year, right? That's your yearly cost. And you get back 5% cash back, right? Which is very, very unlikely. In this case, multiplied by 0.05, that's around $500. But in reality, if you spend $10,000 and you overspent around 12%, in reality, you went ahead and basically spent $1,200 extra, but you got back $500. The math just does not make sense in that situation whatsoever. And on top of that, some people, unlike my friend and also me, like I use leverage, I pay it off safely. He used basically points and basically overspends all the time. But some people, well, most people realistically, when they use a credit card, they're not paying off the balance every single month in full because basically they can't afford it. So before you know it, 6 months down the line, you have around 6K in credit card debt and you're trying to pay it off, but you can't because basically, how are you going to get back all that money at once? So now you're stuck paying the minimum. And by this point, guess what happens, okay? You're stuck paying 18% to 35% on a credit card. And how do you win playing that game? The answer is you don't win at all. But the bank does win. And that's the whole idea right there. So overall, guys, okay, Tommy, okay, I get it. Here is the bad side, and there's a lot of bad to it. The pro is I get points, but in reality, I'm overspending anyway. So what exactly am I supposed to do if I don't use credit cards or have any debts? How am I supposed to maintain a credit score? The answer is, well, it's pretty simple. Your credit score only cares about really 2 main categories. It's basically your payment history and also the amount of credit you actually use and the types of credit, right? So in this case, what I do is this. I have 5 credit cards. And each credit card has a small bill on it that's actually recurring. For example, Netflix, my phone bill, my gym bill, an app I'm subscribed to, and also my internet bill. That way, each credit card has a small bill and I pay in full every single month. So basically, why? Because this way, I build up my credit over the long period of time because basically I'm focused on, hey, just my credit use and also my payment history. And this way, I build my credit score, maintain it at 781, potentially 800 in the future. And that way, I get what I want. I get to buy a property for very low rates. But this way, I'm not going or being at risk of spending more money or going into debt, chasing the, hey, I'm going to spend $1 and get back 5 pennies. It just does not make sense. And by the way, the only way I would ever tell you, hey, go out there and use your credit card and overspend money is basically if you are a drop shipper or, for example, a reseller, okay? When I did drop shipping, I made around $200 to $500 every single month just from cashback, because at that point, it's a business. But by that point, you have to pay your credit card off every single week in full. That's the only way I recommend it, meaning you have to have equal or double the money on hand to pay it off in full every single month. My friend makes around $200 in cashback every single month because basically he spends a ton of money on reselling items. So he buys them, resells them, buys them, resells them. But this right here is a business. It's not personal use, and it's basically very, very analytical. And the only way to actually use your credit card correctly is when basically when you use your credit card, you come back home, you look at all the transactions and see exactly what you spent money on. Did you overspend? What was your budget? Did you overspend? Also, how much do you owe? Are you going to pay it off in full? And that's the only way to actually use your credit card. But being honest here, most people do not take 10 to 20 minutes every single day to look over all the transactions because basically it's a hassle. So that's why today I have this right here, my wallet with cash in the bank, or for example, a debit card. But I no longer use credit the way I used to. I put a small bill on it, paid off in full, build my credit score, but that is all I do. So although the average YouTuber is gonna tell you, hey, credit cards are good, bonus points, sign up this, you get this reward, all this stuff, scientifically proven, and by data, it shows, hey, you're overspending money, you're gonna get into debt, and the minute you grab a credit card and use it, that's debt, right? Because guess what? You're borrowing money. So that's the entire thing. And by the way, guys, comment down below and let me know, do you guys agree with me or disagree with me? And before you say, Tommy, I agree, okay? Some people don't deserve credit. The answer is, okay, before you say that, look at your statement and see exactly what you were doing, okay? Because sometimes you might say, hey, some people don't deserve it, but then you might also be the person also overspending just like I was and my friend was. And I also see a lot of friends that were actually doing the exact same thing. So just make sure, check your statement and see exactly what you did before you say, hey, I agree or I don't agree. Comment down below, let me know. And before I go, if you like this video, guys, right here, well, like this video. On top of that, also, if you're new here, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified. And if you want to text me or talk to me one-on-one, join my Patreon, link down below, or send me a DM on Instagram at TommyBryson. And by the way, this right here was basically like my girlfriend's idea, but I like it. I put the Switch down there and also like a book down there, and that's pretty cool for me. My favorite book, by the way, currently, I'll switch it out every single week. That way you guys know exactly what I'm reading so far. But yeah, that's what I'm doing there. Okay. Subscribe to the channel. Hit this video right here. See you guys next time. Thanks for watching and peace.